What's going on, everybody? Um, it's something he been putting on me. I didn't think, in my mind, I didn't think it was relatable to for like church or Christian topics, but he know what he doing. He kept putting this on my mind to do, and since past couple of days, it was along with the four things in relationships that the enemy attacks. But he just something he kept putting in my mind, but. Like I said, I'm just being obedient again, but I'm gonna do a disclosure. This is not to look down on, belittle, or degrade any of these people. This is mainly to get the information out there and let the people decide what they really want to do with it. It's not, whatever you decide to do with the information, that's up to you. And we're dealing with broken, toxic, or people that are in survival mode. This is in terms of relationships, type of deal. It could be friendships. It could be anybody that you want to get close to. It's just to make you aware of these people, their habits, what they do, what they don't do, what they, so you won't be lost, and so you won't treat them in a way that is counterproductive to your life. So we're gonna go into broken people. I'm explaining what each one of them mean, and these are just red flags. I'm not saying you can't make a relationship work with these people. It's just saying this is what this is. This is what you're gonna be dealing with. And this is what you're gonna be dealing with. This is the road you're gonna be going down, and you can do with it what you want to do with it. But broken, we're gonna go with broken. It's people that have had a past, they have had past traumas, and they don't take it out on other people. They're not what you would call like the toxic ones. We're gonna get into toxic, but the broken ones, they're basically damaged. I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm not saying they're not any good or just throw away. They're not saying that. Not saying anything like that. They're in a state. They're in a process of they're in a construction process. They're under construction, basically. If you're trying to seek a relationship, they're not going to be able to pour into you the way you're pouring into them. When it comes to love and comes to things that you're looking for, like the things it takes for a healthy relationship to take place, like the healthy communication, the ability to receive correction, the willingness to compromise, and the ability to apologize and make a change. They're going to be hindered in one of those areas, maybe three of them, maybe two of them, maybe all of them. They're going to be hindered, because they, they suffered a lot from their past. I'm not saying that they're toxic. I'm not saying that they're lashing out at other people or anything like that. They're just broken. So when they're broken, this is the thing. When they're broken, they're going to they have a void. They have emptiness in their heart. Their heart is scattered. They have emptiness. There's a void there. So when there's a void there, and they need to fill this void, and their mind is not in the right place, guess if you're trying to get close to them, guess who's going to be there to fill that void? They're going to use you to fill that void, and you're not big enough to fill that void. Nothing you will ever be able to do is going to fill that void. And I'm not saying that a relationship is impossible with them, because if there's now, I'm gonna get into that too. I'm just explaining what it is. We're gonna get into all of that, the possibilities of a relationship and all that kind of stuff. But when they're broken, they're not able to give you what you're giving them. You're gonna be pouring. As far as them pouring back into you, whether it be time, whether it be some kind of compromise, because relationships require compromise. So, which means them giving something. It's give and take. They're gonna have to give something back to you. But when they're broken, it's gonna be some things that's gonna be hindered. They're gonna be hindered from giving you some of the things that's necessary, like in those four areas. They might not be able to compromise. They might not be able to give you a lot of their time and energy, because they may need that time and energy to pour into themselves. They may need they You need love and attention and affection. They might not be able to give you that affection because they're still trying to figure out how to give that love and affection to themselves. It's a lot of things like I said, it's a void missing. So they need, but they're not able to give. If this is making any sense. But they're not, I'm going to explain the difference between that and toxic, but they're not they're looking for something. It's not that they're meaning any harm. It's not that they're out to use anybody, to hurt anybody, to destroy anybody. They're not out for that. They're not out for blood or anything like that. They're grasping for straws. They're in need of affection. They're in need of love, but it's only one place they can get it from. But they're mentally they're probably unaware of it because when they in their mindset, all they see is clouds, and they don't see their way through. They can't see clearly. They can't think clearly. They're broken. So anything they can get, they're gonna take. Because they're not. Their mindset is not. But if they only thing that can help that, like I said, is I'm an advocate for therapy and also with a healthy ministry that you could be attached to, healthy people that fear God, love God, be attached to those people, somebody that's going to pour into them spiritually, and then somebody that's going to be able to, and they're also maybe in need of some counseling. It's going to take that kind of stuff to help them move along and help them put the pieces back together. Only them fixing themselves can help. Filling that void can help. It's going to have to be, that has to take place. So if they're broken, they're not of any use in a relationship unless they're willing to do the work. Unless they're doing the work to piece themselves back together. Now, if they're doing the work, if they're doing what it takes to get where they need to be, then that's different. That's a whole nother ballgame. But if they're just laying in their stew and they're laying in their depression, they're laying in what they are, and then it's not of any use to you. They have to get to the place where they want to put in the work. Not saying that they're bad. Again, they're just not ready they're not ready yet to put in the work to get out of the place that they're in. It's just a phase. Everything is in phases and processes. It's not God don't see people as this and that. It's process. They're in this process. They're in this phase of their life. They're in that phase of their life. Now, if people that are reprobate, that's a different story. It's a whole nother life. Probably won't do it anytime soon, but we're going to stick to where we at. We got toxic. Toxic is people that they're broken people, but they become just like the people that made them broken in the first place. Like if they were molested, if they were abused, if they had verbal abuse, they had physical abuse, they become physical abusers. They become this and that. They become like what caused them the pain in the first place. Whatever type of pain they receive, if they become one of those people, that's when they become toxic. That's when they become now they're in the area of trespassing. Now they're abusing you. Now they're verbally abusing. And what these people do, they take out their pain, misery, hurt, and all of that. They take that out on other people. Now, I'm not saying it's intentional. It's not always intentional. Some people do become intentional. Some people become narcissistic, and it's intentional. They don't care who they hurt, what they do. It's not always intentional. Some of them are just scrolling through life. They're not. To them, it's normal behavior. It's become normal. It's become a normal habit of being toxic. They lash out. They set out to degrade and belittle people. That's the way they were taught. That's their way of life. That's the only way they know. It's not always trying to cause harm on purpose. They're causing harm. They're destroying people. They're hurting people. They're downing people. But it's not something that they want to do per se. Sometimes you do have the narcissistic ones that don't care. Those are the more it's like a personality disorder. That's different. But when they're toxic, they become what they've experienced. They become a product of their environment. Now they're actually causing harm and damage to your life. The ones that are just broken, they may not have any intentions in hurting you at all. It's just that they're not going to be able to provide you any. It's not going to be an even exchange in that relationship. They say relationships will be 100. they might only be able to give you 20. They might only be able to give you 30, and you're still giving 100. You still have to make up for what, it still has to be made up, whether it's through you giving more, overdrive, the grace of God coming in there, stuff like that. Counseling, that it has to be made up from somewhere. But like I said, with toxic people, they're taking their pain out on you. They become an abuser. They become a molester, whatever the case may be. They become that. That's when it's toxic. That's when now it's to the point where, in that case, I'll let you decide what you want to do with that. Either run, or if you want to stick it out with that person, hey, I can't tell you what to do, but my recommendation is to never stick around with somebody that's physically abusive, even verbally abusive, because sometimes it can wind up dragging you down. It can wind up causing you to become broken, you to become toxic. So we don't know what's inside of us. We don't know what traits are inside of us. That's why we have to be careful who we connect ourselves to, because we don't know what's inside us. We don't know what we're dealing with. We don't know we don't know, because we're human. We're all human. We all have seeds inside of us. In the flesh has no good intentions, desires no good things, so we have to be careful, because we don't want those things to come out of us. We don't want to become broken. We don't know what we will become when we're in those states. Like I said, toxic people, they take out their anger and frustrations on you. They've been abused, so they want to abuse. They're going to abuse. They've been afflicted. They've been whatever, so they're going to take it out on you. Now let's move to survival mode. People that are in survival mode. They might not be broken. They might not be toxic, but they don't have their basic necessities in order. Like as far as around here in the U.S. of A., in order to make it, you have to have transportation. Depending on where you're at, some cities you don't have to have transportation. You can just, public transportation is always available. But as far as the South goes, transportation, job, source of income, and a place to lay your head, a place to live. Job, car, place to live. Basic necessities. People that are in survival mode are lacking in one or all of these areas. So if they don't have everything, if they don't have income, and let's say you run into, and this is for a lot of believers, a lot of saints, as well as people that aren't. Let's say you run into this guy. Men and women do this because they're in survival. Not, like I said, I'm not judging or putting down. This is what it is. When I'm showing you what the human mind goes through when they're in certain situations. So when they're in a state of survival, they're not thinking about romance. They're not thinking about love. They're not thinking about friendship. Only thing is on their mind is getting what they need. It's getting the bare necessities. Only thing on their mind, they short in money, they need money. They short on having a place to stay, they need a place to stay. Because let's say if you're a woman or a woman of God, somebody, well, you can minister or out of minister. This is, break it down. There are guys that don't have a place to stay, don't have a place to lay their head. They don't have nothing. They don't have none of the resources that they need to function as an adult, and they claim that they love you and all this other stuff, and telling you that they care all this about you, and whispering nothing in your ear, doing everything it takes to get you. That's a survival tactic. I'm not saying that every last one of them do this, but 9 times out of 10, this is what you're getting. If they're in survival mode, they don't have all their bare necessities, they don't have what they need, then the chances of you finding true love with this person is probably minimum, negative at best. It's probably negative at best. Probably less than 0 at best. Because they're trying to survive. They're looking for a place to lay their head. They're looking for a place to, So whoever has the best topic. I don't come up with these topics. This is some stuff God been trying to get me to talk about this. I was like, well, are you sure about this? I don't even know how this relates to anything, but I think it's like a regular topic. But yeah, he says, me and him homies. So you sure about this? Yeah, this is what I want you to talk about. So, hey, this is what it is. I'm just a messenger, I'm just delivering the message. This is what it is. But when you this person in survival mode, the only thing they thinking about is survival. They don't mean no harm, and you can say that oh, this person drug me down through there. They took me down through there. They hurt my spirit. They hurt me so bad. I'm traumatized. See, the problem where it came in there, you took it personal. It wasn't personal. It could have been anybody. They was looking for a place to lay their head. It was only business. They was trying to survive. They didn't have no food. They didn't have no money. They ain't have. What if you was out there, didn't have no place to stay? You was staying at somebody's house. They were treating you like junk. You need a place. You need something. You ain't have no income. You need something to eat. You get hungry every day as a human being. I'm showing you the mindset so you know what you're dealing with when you dealing with somebody that ain't got all their necessities together. They ain't got no money. They ain't got no transportation. They ain't got no place to stay. But they claiming they love you. It's like these guys that's in prison. I'm hitting somebody. Somebody getting hit by this. These people that's in prison, they ain't got no place to stay. They ain't got no money. They might be out on parole in the next few months. They're gonna do whatever it takes to get out of the situation they're in. They're gonna do what it takes. It's not, like I said, it's not judgmental. This is what it is. This is real life. Real life stuff. This is the real deal, real life. They're going to do whatever it takes to get out of the situation they're in. If they don't have a place to stay, they see you, especially if you're vulnerable, especially if you're looking for love, especially you know what I'm saying, you got some desperation in there, they're going to say whatever they got to say. They're going to try to make you fall in love. They need a place to stay. Okay, I got a place to stay. Just all I do is talk to her crazy. I'm sorry, fellas. The ones that ain't got what they need, you know what I'm saying? But I had to put this information out there. You know, I had to be obedient. But I ain't really sorry because I got to do what I got to do. If I didn't do it, it'd been blood on my hand. Because if I don't tell the people, if I don't warn the people the messages he give me, then it's on me. I don't want it to be on me. It ain't on me. People just gonna have to be mad. But like I said, if they ain't got all their necessities together, it's gonna be they're gonna do whatever it takes. They're gonna do whatever they gotta do to get out of the situation they're in. They don't want to be in prison. They don't want to be homeless. They don't want to be hungry. They hungry every day. And you got a house. You got your own place. You got your own car. You know what I'm saying? She got her own car. She got her own house. She got all that stuff. She INDEPENDENT. She got all that. And he homeless. He ain't got nothing. What you think finna happen? He gonna skin you up. Same thing if you a guy and it's a woman that ain't got all her necessities. Especially if she got kids. Ain't nothing gonna come before them kids. Ain't nothing gonna come before them babies. If she gotta wink her eyes at you a couple times. If she gotta flirt with you to get what she needs, that's what she gonna do. This is just real stuff, man. Can I be real? Can I be real with y'all? I gotta be real with y'all for a minute. I see. We have all the thus said the Lord messages and the scripture quoting and all that. That's good. Ain't nothing wrong. I ain't knocking none of that. We need all of that. We need it all. But God used me in a different way. He used me different. He used me to talk about, can I sit on your couch for a minute? You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to sit on your couch. You know, that's how they say they in your driveway. I'm on your couch. I'm in your living room. I'm eating your noodles, your Roman noodles. Got some cereal up in there, Captain Crunch, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, one of them. Whatever they got up in there. If she ain't got all her necessities, she gonna say whatever she gotta say. She gonna tell you she love you. She gonna tell you all this kind of stuff. I'm gonna get into the whole. I had to segue into something else in a minute, but this right now we on this. She gonna say whatever she gotta say. She gotta bat her eyes at you. She gotta wink. She gotta, you know what I'm saying? She gotta do whatever she gotta do. That's the same thing with the men that do that. That's in survival mode. Let's say, even if they have their own, but their job don't pay enough to pay all their bills. Survival mode. They're still in survival mode. They're in a bad situation. That came up out of nowhere. They gotta pay this bill so many days to pay this bill, or they gonna lose some stuff. Survival mode. They got it's just red flags now. That's not something to say that you need to leave them alone. They crazy, they bad people, they going to hell. No, it's not saying none of that. It's something to look out for. If they can't afford to feed their kids, survival mode. if they in between jobs, survival mode. All this is men and women. Applies to anybody. They ain't got a place to lay their head. Survival mode. They sleeping, going from house to house. Don't know where they gonna lay their head at next. Survival mode. They got kids. Don't have any income. Survival mode. Feel me? That's what it is. Not saying she's a bad person. Not saying he's a bad person. They have to survive. This was why they call it the concrete jungle. That's why it's animal instinct, survival mode. They're in a place where they need to get what they need just to survive. They're trying to survive. They're not bad people. They're not trying to hurt you. They're not always trying to kill you. They're not always meaning no harm. It's not always personal. Survival. This world, America, especially America, there's other countries too that's worse, but it's places that's it's hard, it's rough out here. Life is rough in general. So you have people with these mentalities, they just trying to survive. Like the broken person, they just trying to fill voids. They trying to fill a void in their mind. They looking for some release. They in constant torment from their pain, from their past. They looking for some release. If they got to weigh down on somebody, that's what they're gonna do to get some kind of release. If you got a toothache, when baby's teeth, they gonna gnaw on whatever. They gotta gnaw on your finger. They gotta gnaw on something that you like, something that you was playing with, or remote control, something. They trying to get some relief. Broken people, they looking for relief. Relief. Toxic people, they looking for a release. It's different. Release, they trying to release all their frustration, all their pain, all their hurt, all their trauma, all their sadness. They releasing. They gonna release it on you if you let them. Survival mode, they looking for any way to make their life easier. They ain't got no food, they can't afford no food. They gonna look for any way to make that easier. It's not that they bad, like I said, they bad people. It's just up to us to recognize this. Either we bag up or we help them, whatever. If God say help them, that's different, but I'm just saying, I'm putting the information out there letting you know, okay, this is where this person is at. You deal with it how you deal with it. Yeah, but this is you got the broken, you got the toxic, you got survival mode. And speaking of toxic and broken, I looked at a lot of things. I've seen a lot of places where you have men talking about women bashing women all day. They had the red pill movement and all that stuff. It's only on the internet I've seen, because outside of that, no one cares. They sit around bashing single mothers, bashing, people like that. But what it basically is, they've been burned by people. They've dealt with broken people. They dealt with toxic people, and now they are letting out their frustrations. They're using the outlet. They're not completely healed. They're not really where they need to be. So instead of healing or holding themselves accountable and doing the work that it takes to heal and move on, they're lashing out. Just like with a lot of the women that talk about men, they're broken. There's a lot of broken and toxicity. Like I said, that's what the enemy wants. He wants us to be broken and toxic so we can be divided. So we won't have healthy communication. Instead of we don't have healthy communication. All we're doing is sitting around talking and bashing people and destroying people and degrading people, and he wants us at war against each other. He wants men and women at war against each other. He wants that. He wants distortion. He wants disruption. He wants separation. All that stuff. Healthy communication hinders that. It hinders, you can't receive correction, because when you see something, you just there's an attitude, or there's a whole bunch of major stuff there, because you ain't trying to hear nothing. Now you think everything you say is right. You got all this, because you hadn't healed. You trying to fill these voids by lashing out, by belittling, by degrading, because that makes you feel better. But at the end of the day, you still stuck with the same issues you already have. Y'all might not like me for this live. Some people might unfriend me for this, but it gotta go. It gotta come out. It gotta come out. It gotta come out. I gotta. Y'all might not like it, but that's the way it is. Let's see. You have with the receive correction. no willingness to compromise. You might probably won't be able to if you're broken or destroyed or messed up or undealt with, refused to move on from your past. It's you may have. It's going to hinder all of that stuff. So he just gave me this stuff, man. That's why I don't really support those groups, because they're full of broken, and I don't follow anything that's being driven and fueled by brokenness, by anger, by hate. All of that, you know what all that is? It's fear, and God does not give us the spirit of fear, but a power of love and a strong mind. So it doesn't line up with what Christ is. Yes, I have been broken. Yes, I have been toxic. Yes, I've been in survival mode a few times in my life. I've been all of those things before. So I can tell you about it, so I can tell you the mindset of it. I've been there. I've been in that place. So I can tell you all about it. I can tell you what the person is thinking, where the person is at. I can tell you anything about it that you need to know. When you have experience, you can explain it. You can explain it in raw detail. But that's why I stay away from those type of groups, because all they do is bring you back into that place. It gives you the ability to just false sense of ability to pass on the accountability and responsibility to somebody else, and not is like I said, a lot of the guys have made poor choices in women, and instead of accepting that responsibility and accountability, saying, "Look, I should have chose better. I wasn't in the right state of mind when I chose this person. I was broken, so I attracted broken. I was in a low place, so I attracted other people that were in a low place. I didn't read them out thoroughly, so I chose a person that was only just trying to use me." Instead of saying that, they like all women are trash and all this other stuff, and they're no good. None of this is. These women, all women are this and that. All single mothers are just dirt. All this, they shifting the blame. That's why I can't follow anything like that, because that's not how we're supposed to be thinking. If somebody isn't your type, somebody isn't your preference, it's okay to move on. It's okay to accept those differences, move on. But as far as trashing and bashing and all that kind of other stuff, it's no good. It's no good. It's only going to do is hurt you, hinder you, slow you down. You're going to be trapped in the same time period where you refuse to get help in the first place. If you're thinking that all women are trash, all women are bad, all women are deceitful, get help. If you're a woman that feels the same way, that all men are bad, all men are just low down, all men are crooks, please do spend some time in prayer, counseling, because I used to think that, but after I got help, after I spent time with the Lord, and been growing and developing, I don't sit here and I don't believe that all women are toxic. I don't believe that. There are plenty of good women out there. It's more good than bad. I don't believe that all men are bad. I don't believe it. I refuse to believe it, because if that was the case, this planet would be in trouble. It'd be like Sodom and Gomorrah. Because God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. In biblical, when God destroyed cities and things like that, it was worse than what it is now. Now it's more good people than bad. It's more people willing to follow God than people that's not. Otherwise, God would already intervene. So that's just another tidbit. But things. I don't sit around whining and complaining about women all day. They're a single mother. They're trash. To me, that's dumb. To me, this is my opinion. That's dumb to me. If that's their life, that's their process. How are you gonna say that somebody, when they made personal mistakes, when they've done certain things, what if somebody bashed what you did? What if somebody sit there and turn you to destroy you for what you've done, the bad decisions that you've made? We can't just shift all the blame to women. I believe that's the craziest thing ever to me. That's why I can't follow that kind of stuff, because it's counterproductive to growth. It's counterproductive to progress. It's counterproductive. He say we go from glory to glory, faith to faith. You can't do that if you're sitting around bashing other people. It's just impossible. It hinders all of that. I don't want to be hindered. I don't want my prayers to be hindered. I don't want my life to be hindered. I don't want any of that junk to be hindered. I want to continue to grow, continue to progress, to continue to get smarter, get wiser, get better. If I just sit around and say, oh, blame women and all that, it's not productive. It's counterproductive. Not going to make any progress. Just going to be in the same spot. That's why I can't support that kind of stuff, because you can't grow. That's pride, man. You're just shifting the blame. You're not being responsible for your own bad decisions. It's just not right. It's just terrible, man. Terrible way of thinking, terrible way of living. It's not, if you like that, I'm not judging you. I'll just be praying for you. And cause I used to be that way. I'm not sitting here talking down to you. I used to be that way. I used to blame women for stuff. I used to blame women for everything and this and that and that. And I looked up. I had to spend some time with God and all that. Hey, that was me. You know, it was me that was destroying relationships. It was me that was being toxic. It was me that was running people off. It was me that was hurting people. It was me that was choosing poorly. It was me that was doing all that stuff. You know, it's not all about. It's just blaming other people. You have to look at what you did, where it wrong, where you are, and the mistakes you made. Hold yourself accountable. That's what it's all about, accountability. You can't grow without that. Like I said, this is a segue. We can't grow without just taking on some of that responsibility. I'm not saying you feel sorry for yourself. I'm not saying you let it drag you down through life. You just take on that responsibility. This is where I messed up at, and you just as long as you know that you were partially responsible. In some cases, you may have completely and utterly screwed up some relationships, but that's okay. We make certain mistakes. We make certain bad decisions. It's not the fact that we make certain bad decisions. It's the fact that we refuse to own up to those bad decisions. And when we refuse to own up to them, because he said you confess your sin, you're faithful and just to forgive your sin. You can't be forgiven for things that you're trying to hide, the things you're trying to shift the blame on. If you hold yourself responsible, you hold yourself accountable. Then if you confess those, you can be forgiven. You can be, you can be set free from that stuff. Otherwise, that stuff is just going to be, you're going to continue to carry on that hurt, continue to carry on that pain, continue to carry on whatever it is that you're beating yourself up about. With the like I said, the guys that sit around blaming women all day for their problems or for their bad choices and past relationships. They may have chosen the wrong woman and got burned. All women aren't like that. All women aren't that way. You have a lot of good women. There are plenty of good women. It's just the fact that we don't want to put any work in to make the necessary change that we need to make to receive the right type of person. That's what it is. It's just flat out laziness on our part, fear, laziness, lack of. See, I stopped a long time ago. I'm not even. I'm just rolling now. Just fear, laziness. We have to submit and line up with what God wants us, who God wants us to be, and once we receive that person that God wants us to be, He already He already sees us at our full potential. We just have to line up with it. So it's that's why I can't line up with that stuff, because there's no life in it. There's no life in bashing some other people. There's no life in bashing the opposite sex. There's no life in that. It's just, you're hindering yourself. You're hurting yourself. If you're saying that all men / all women are no good, you're only a hindrance to yourself. It's some things that we have to own up to. We have to own up to our bad choices. We have to own up to where we didn't, maybe I didn't read this person good enough. Maybe I didn't see the signs, and maybe I should have looked out for this. Maybe I didn't see the fact that they were in survival mode. I didn't look at that. It's not that they meant any harm. We just, we got caught up in that. We fell in love and they were in survival mode. We fell in love and they were toxic. They were in no place to give us anything that we were looking for in a relationship. They didn't have any of the 4 things that I discussed about relationship. They were broken, or they had this and that. When they're trying to, like I said, when they're broken, they're looking for, they're looking for somebody, they're looking for a void to fill. They're toxic, they're trying to release. When they're in survival mode, they're looking for somebody to fulfill the things that they're lacking. And sometimes, like I hear a lot of women say, when I tried to build a man and he didn't want me no more, that's because he probably never really wanted you. It was probably because he was had that survival mindset. It's probably because he was needing to fill a void, and once that void was filled, he really didn't like you like that, really didn't like you per se. Not saying that he was out to hurt you, not saying he was out to get you, not saying he targeted you just to just to screw you over. It's not saying that. When people are trying to survive, it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter what it is. They're grasping for straw. They're trying to do whatever it takes to get themselves out of the hole that they're in. That's all it is. It's nothing personal. You might have some that just have hate in their heart and all of this stuff, but it's not always the case. Like I said, it's more good people than bad, and these are not always bad people. Sometimes these are genuinely good people. They're just in jacked up situations. And this information out here is just for you to realize the situations that they're in. Whether you take that information, you either back up or get involved in it. But if you get involved, do know that what comes with these things. Do know what comes with people that are in these situations, in these circumstances, that are going through these things. During survival mode, you have to know that they're not really looking for romance or love or anything like that. 9 times out of 10, they're looking for a place to lay their head. They're looking for food to eat. They're looking for things that they need to survive. So don't get caught up in the hype, thinking that you can change them, you can bring them up on their feet, you can be Superman, Superwoman, whatever the case may be. They're not looking for that. They're trying to survive. That's all they're looking for. That's it. But like I said, and this actually turned out to be pretty decent. I'm glad it obeyed what he was telling me to do. And yeah, he just took over. But anyway, live for God, believe what he say. He is going to take you a mighty long way. And if you missed it, watch the playthrough, because I'm not going to delete it. I'm going to be sharing it in the church group and all of that stuff. I'm going to be sharing stuff. Don't just watch the playthrough. I love y'all, and I had to get this information out there. I hope y'all learned something. Y'all peace out.